This is a case that's kind of interesting that we're looking into today. This woman was looking for a secondary job and she thought she had one. Turns out that it was all a big scam. This gentleman sent her a check that later turned out to be fraudulent. And he said, hey, once these funds become available, I need you to pay some bills for me using that money. And she thought that she was his administrative assistant, had just gotten this job as his administrative assistant. Is that something you're hearing about often lately?
Yeah, the Better Business Bureau has seen an increase in job scams, and recently we issued an international study talking about this particular problem as well. What we're seeing at the Better Business Bureau is that people are looking for legitimate jobs to work for, and the scam artist is there ready to take the money away from the consumers in any way they can. And they're getting more sophisticated. What I mean by that is now some of these people are actually landing the jobs or being told that they got the job and they need to talk to several different people. And it's more elaborate than it has been over the years. And especially now what they're doing, the Better Business Bureau is seeing that consumers are sending money back to them. I talked to an individual last week who actually, the company told them they had to buy an iPhone and they had to buy an iPad. And of course, you got to send it to the company so we can load software on it. And we'll send you a check to cover the expenses, only to find out that the check has bounced. The key to this is that a check, if anybody gives you a check and asks you to send them money in return, it can take legally up to 30 days for the bank to realize or find out if it's fraudulent or counterfeit in any way. Sometimes consumers think they have that 3-day rule where as long as it's, it gets into your bank and is posted by your bank in 3 days, that means it's clear as good. It's not. We've seen a lot of consumers who lose a lot of money in this particular scam.
And we know that a lot of employers right now are aggressively trying to hire people. We see the signs all over town. We're looking for employees. How does that affect the ground for scammers?
Well, we're seeing a sharp increase in obviously job scams as a result of the need for people to work. And recently, some of the pandemic employment assistance has run out for some people. So a lot more people are online looking for legitimate jobs, only find out that they're scammers. They're waiting in the weeds to attack these people and steal as much money from them as they can. A lot of these times, these are not new scams, but new twists to old scams. And what they're doing now is telling you either got to send them money or that you got to send them equipment. And those are the two, what we call the tip-off to the rip-offs.
Do you have maybe a way to paint the picture for us through numbers or general increase on how much this has gone up recently and in what period?
What we have, the Better Business Bureau has, is that we have information that a lot of these complaints are filed between the people of age 25 to 34. And 67% of the complaints filed recently were on women and job scams. So this is actually getting into the billions of dollars, and it's increasing not only with our office, but other agencies as well as the FBI. They recently said there was a 27% increase in these types of scams, according to the FBI. We're seeing an increase not only here locally, but nationally as well. And again, it all centers around consumers looking for legitimate jobs, end up losing money, and sometimes end up losing their information. If you think about it, a lot of these questions they ask you during a job interview are the same questions that a scammer needs you to answer in order to steal your identity, your social security number, your bank account number, and other pertinent information, including your mother's maiden name. Sometimes they're asking you. So you got to be very careful who you're giving your information to. Just because they say they're a company, you still got to verify it. Make sure they are a legitimate company. Recently, Amazon, we sent warnings out that people are calling and saying they're calling from Amazon to, that they have jobs available. And even on their website, Amazon says, we do not do that. We do not send you a text message or tell you that there's jobs available, that you got to go to apply. So we're asking consumers to do is, investigate before you invest. So what I mean by that is check out that company's website directly, go to the website and see if they have a job listing posted. And they should, because a lot of these scammers are using well-known companies' names in order to get their foot in the door. Hey, I want to work for XYZ Corporation. Who wouldn't? So well-known company. Unfortunately, they don't work for an XYZ company. They're just scamming you, telling them they do that. So you got to be very careful.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'd imagine those stats from the FBI and the stats you guys have shown the increase it was from before the federal unemployment benefits wore out. So are you worried that this could get even worse?
Yeah, we are worried it's going to get worse, and that's why the Better Business Bureau issued a warning last week and issued our study, because we're seeing the increase in customer complaints and scams out there. Again, with more and more people in the workplace, the scammer goes where the money's at. And the only way to put scams out of business is not to give them your business. There's not enough law enforcement, police, judges that can protect you in the world against these scammers. It's up to you as a scammer not to give them your money first and foremost. Check with the Better Business Bureau first. But more importantly, if you see a scam, report the scam to the Better Business Bureau, because our information is shared with the authorities. A lot of times consumers will look at it and say, I'll never fall for that. But unfortunately, Tim, somebody will, and that's why we need you to report these to the Better Business Bureau.